All right, welcome everybody. Well, as Manish said, I'm Joe. Um, I'm here to just today to create with you. I would say a website. I would say like a one-page website from scratch. Actually, not really from scratch, but we're going to start from a wireframe, right? Uh, all right, let's start. Now, I've put together here on the canvas a lot of bunch of stuff. Usually when I'm starting a project, I'm going to talk from my experience. When I'm starting a project, I'm putting all the resources in one place. I'm gathering my pictures. I'm having my copy there, copy text, and also the wireframe. We're going to use this today. Now, for those who maybe are in Figma for the first time, let me show you briefly what's all about. Well, we are we are using this main page where we have all the resources there. We are using it to create on it. I'm calling it the canvas. And then here to the left side, we have the layer panel. In the layer panel, you have everything that sits on the canvas. As you see, some of the actually most of the layers have a small icon in front. Either is a picture, an image, right? You have a text, or you have a shape. Further on, groups. We're going to talk about it later. In the right hand, we have the settings panel. The settings panel is the panel where each element can be changed, can be modified. You find the settings of each element from the canvas. Now, some shortcuts that I'm using usually if you hit the space bar, you can see the cursor is changing. It tells you that you can grab it, so I can move on the canvas, and also control minus, control plus, zoom in, zoom out. Those are some very useful shortcuts that we're going to use today. All right, let's see what we have here. Now, I believe that you already you know about the wireframe. First, I have this picture. I want to create something from this picture. Now, what does it mean, wireframe? The wireframe is a way of describing the structure and functionality of the user flow. The functionality, when we're talking about functionality, I'm talking about how the user interacts. I'm talking about the buttons, the menu, drop-down menus, and so far. We are creating this, it's like a visual representation, right? That communicates the structure, the structure of the product, right? The information hierarchy, the behavior, navigation, right? And where we put the content, the placement of the content. So as we see here, we have here a logo, here we have links, we have a text, we have images. What you see with X, they're images, and here probably logo also, right? We have text. The text is symbolized with lines, testimonials, and the call to action button. Further on, what we're going to use today, we have a sample of how it feels and how I want to feel and how I want to look the page that I'm creating, right? Something like that, not necessarily like this, but something like that. The colors that I want to use, the color palette that I want to use, I put aside also, as you see here, and we were talking about the shapes. You can see in the panel for layers, the sign of the shape in front of it. As most of you probably know already, when we're talking about layers, we're talking about stacks, right? They're stacked one on top of each other. That's why, for example, when I'm going to take those two rectangles, if I'm going to put this one here, as you see, is going under. But if I'm going in the layer panel and I'm going to bring him on top of the others, drag and drop, I can organize them the way I want. And also, like the square bracket on the keyboard brings it on top, brings it in the background, right? Another shortcut that actually I'm really using it pretty often. All right, further on, we have the images. I put aside some images. The images are taken from Flippik that I'm going to use on the website. I believe that they're keeping the consistency for the color palette that I chose, feel and look, right? Further on, I have a banner you're going to see later on what we're going to use it for. Some pictures taken from Unsplash, and then later on what we're going to use. Font. I chose Source Sans Pro. This is a Google font. This is it's coming automatically in Figma. It's uploaded automatically. It's free. I'm gonna use this font for the header, and then for the body text, I chose Roboto. Roboto is very clean font, accessible. Actually, it's recommended for the website. Right now, beneath we have the copy, the text. We call it text. We call it copy. It's the same. And that's about it. We're gonna do together the page. This is what I have put aside. I believe that we can start doing something. Let's see. So first of all, I want to create a desktop page. The first thing first, I'm gonna go to the frame and I'm gonna select my frame. I click there. Of course, you can go with F from the keyboard as a shortcut. Once I clicked the frame, I'm choosing my desktop and I have here, click, and the desktop is here. Now, obviously, I have a lot happening. I'm having testimonials. I'm having a lot of story. It's let's say one page website. So I know that my frame needs to be a little bit longer than it is. That's why I'm going to press Control on the keyboard and I'm going to just drag it a little bit more. We'll see later on how much do we need. Now, we have the frame. Let's see. This frame, I would love for it to look like this. But first, let's choose like a background color, one color only for the background. In order to choose the color, we have two types. Either I'm going to go to the fill and I'm going to choose from here the picker, or I'm going to choose from the colors from here, but I already have some colors. So either I'm going to go with the picker from here and I'm going to choose my color, I don't know, this one, or another useful shortcut is going to be is choosing right away the picker, right? I on the keyboard, I'm going to go with this color. Pretty dark, beautiful. I have my color chosen. All right. Well, now I have to do something that is very important because on my desktop, I'm going to have columns of 2. I'm going to have columns of 3. As you see here, I have 3 images. That means that I'm going to have 3 columns. I'm also looking here. Oh, I have 2 columns here. I have 3 columns here. Here, there's no column, but I want it centered. So there's a lot of it's a lot of tackling this. How do we tackle the desktop? For that, we're going to use the grid. Now, I want you to remember something. When we're going to create the grid is not a part of the design. The grid can be, you can close the eye and not see it. You can make it invisible, or you can show it according to your needs. Sometimes you might see me just hiding it so I can see better the design without the grid. Let's work on the grid. Now, I selected the frame. In the right hand here, I have layout grid. Layout grid, I'm going to add it, right? And as you see, already put kind of a grid that no one can work with, because what I want from my desktop is to be centered, first of all, and this grid doesn't help. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, oh, I don't want grid, I want columns. This looks good. but it's not enough because I have no padding between my elements that are going to be centered and the sides. So no white space. I'm having columns. The count of columns, I will choose 12. And I'm going to tell you that most of the apps on the desktop are creating on 12 because 12 is very easy to handle. When you're talking about 12, you're doing a little bit of math here. Now 12 can be divided by, by 4, and you can have 4 elements column, right? You can divide it by 3, you can divide it by 6, you can divide it by 2. So it has a lot of factors that you can work with and you can arrange on the desktop. That's why I'm going to choose 12. I want it centered. Oh, small. So because they are so small, I'm going to choose the width of the column 75. And I'm going to give a gutter of 15. All right. So I believe that it looks pretty good. I don't like the red. So I think I'm going to go a little bit in white. This is better and it's more visible. Well, now all the design that I'm going to do today is going to sit within these white borders. I chose to let the side without anything on because, it depends on the desktop. It depends. I want to have my design visible no matter what, right? So, because we're ready, I'm going to start working on it now. Let's see. The way we are designing, I'm just going to give you an example. As I was saying earlier, you have the red light, the red lines. The red lines are helping us, right? So I created, I don't know, let's say a box on 4 of them. Control D is duplicate, or Alt and click, and you can duplicate. This is how we're working on the grid. Now we have 3 here. Let's say I'm gonna do another one with 6 and 6, right? So that's why for us it's very useful to have the grid, because it helps us arrange our design in the page really nice. We're gonna have a neat and clean design. All right, that said, let's start working. First thing, I'm going to drag this navigation bar. I created a logo also just to make it look cool. I'm gonna just drag it here. Let's see how we work with that. All right, so for my navigation bar, I said I want for the header to have not Roboto, but to be Source Sans Pro. So I selected what I needed. I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna put a bold and choose my font. And I believe that I'm gonna give it a white color. Looks better. As you see, something is happening, so I can just drag it a little bit. And also, I would like to talk to you about auto width. For example, in this box, it helps us to have everything get together, not so far. So if you click on the box, you can click on all of them, but if you click on the box, you have here auto width. It is selecting everything and just tighten it up. All right, so we have this one already here. I'm gonna take the other ones and just drag them to I'm keeping shift, and then I'm dragging them. I'm keeping shift so I can keep the position, and then I'm dragging them to the right. I think that's about it. It looks pretty okay. This is the navigation bar, right? Let's see what we have. I think I'm gonna let it like that, and I'm gonna group it. Control Command G is grouped, and I'm gonna rename it Control or Command R, and I'm gonna say navigation bar. I like to keep everything named and grouped because it's very easy, as you see here in the pages. It's very easy for me to um, to see it and to just go straight there if there's, I don't know, there's any problem or something like that, right? All right, next would be, I'm gonna go in my wireframe. I have this section here. It shows me that I have a picture, let's say almost half of the space that I'm creating on, and then some header and the text and a small text, and I have two buttons here, right? All right, let's do this. So I'm gonna have my picture. This is my picture that I chose to take there. For now, it says that it's kind of a half off. So that means that it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 of them. I'm gonna put it like that. We can organize it a little bit later according to the text and everything, right? And then the text of it for it is going to be discover this and this. All right. I'm just going to drag it here. Now this text, what we are creating here, it's called the hero section. The hero is the first thing that you see on the website. It has to be catchy, it has to be strong, it has to make people scroll down. Right. So we talked about Source Sans Pro. So I'm going to look first at my header. I'm going to make this one as a header. It's very strong. Let's make it white to be seen. Now, because it's header, excuse me, I'm going to choose my font. All right. Is this the font? Source Sans Pro. Yeah, not cold. All right. There you go. All right. And because it's header, and most likely I might use it somewhere else, I will create a style for it. Now, I have the font. I'm gonna make it bold. First, I have to do the settings, right, for it. I'm gonna bring it big. I don't know. Ooh, because we have it so close, I'm gonna choose here to put percentage. Now I have pixels. Is the distance, is the line height, is the distance between the lines. And if I'm gonna change now the size of the letter, as you see, they're coming one on top of each other. But if I'm gonna choose the distance of the line in percent, not in pixels, 100, and I'm gonna write percent, enter, then if I'm changing with anything here, I'm going to put 20 or I'm going to put 100, is keeping the distance of 100%. So that's a very cool trick all the time, not to just, oh, what's happening there? Why is on top of another? Do I have to arrange it? No, it's better to work in percentage. All right, so I don't know, 80. And I have a lot of stuff under. Let me move them because we're going to take care of them later. And maybe I'm gonna have capital letters because this is the header, right? This is the most important stuff. So with the headers selected, I'm just gonna go here and I have the settings for the text. And I chose to have capital letters for each of them. I think that looks pretty cool. I don't know about you. Yeah, even maybe a little bit bigger. I don't know, 86. Super. I can do it even bigger. All right. What tells me how big it goes is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can stretch on 6, right? Because it's half of it is the text, half of it is the image. That is the beauty of the grid. All right, so I have the image and I have the text, but I also have a subheader. Before going to the subheader, I want to have a style for this one. So because I know that I'm going to use it probably later on, I'm going to have it select. And here, where you have the 4 dots, I'm going to create a style for it. So I'm going to just click on it and I'm going to say header or H1. All right. So this is H1. Now, looks cool. I have a smaller body text. I know that the body text goes with Roboto. It stays Roboto. I'm making it white. I think maybe 24. It looks pretty okay. And I want to create a style for it too. Looks good. And the style for this one, let's say 100% also. Let's create a style and add, and I'm gonna say subheader, right? All right, so now I have the style. You can see it here, it's subheader. It looks good, super. So for now, this looks great, but I also have 2 buttons. Now, how do we create the buttons? I'm gonna make them white so it can be more visible. I'm gonna grab a rectangle. Like that. And let's choose a field for the rectangle. I'm thinking about a bit longer. And I'm gonna grab a fill here. Why not? It looks good. Let's give it some round corners. I don't know, let's say 10, maybe 20. There's too round. It's a little bit too round. 50. It looks good. All right. So I have the button. So now I'm gonna take my my text. I'm going to just place it here. Oh, what is happening? The text is under, so I'm going to bring it in front with the brackets. Now, as you see, we're talking earlier about the width. So I selected the text and I'm going to say I want the width so we can wrap it up really nicely. And I believe that I'm going to make this writing, I don't know if I like it like this. Maybe I wanted to have it a little bit darker, this button. Let's see, can we make it darker? Maybe I can take it from here. There you go. It looks good. Now, if you were bothered by the grid, I'm going to select the frame. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to hide it for a little bit. Okay, now we're talking. So let's finish with the buttons. And then we're going to look at it without grid. This one, I'm going to go here to the settings and I'm going to say, oh, I want it to have maybe look more buttonish. See, big letters, capital letters, and I'm going to give it maybe a semi-bold. Yeah, I want that. And maybe a little bit of a distance between the letters. And that's it. I think my button looks pretty cool. I'm going to center it. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. So this is one button. I'm going to group it. And I'm going to say rename by. And because I have to do another button the same, I'm going to duplicate it. Control Command D. And I'm just going to drag it here aside. All right. Look at the grid, how they're aligned. But the second button, I don't want to be as strong. It's not the principal button, right? What I want for people is to buy, not necessarily to sell, because here is going to be sell. So what we're going to do, we're calling it the ghost button, sell, right? Just a second. Super. This button is going to be a ghost button. So we're going to take away the fill and we're going to put a stroke. All right. So let's do this. I'm going to remove fill. I'm going to add a stroke first. And I want for the stroke to be the same color, but I want to remove the fill. So this one, from here, I'm going to detach from the style, or maybe just a second. No, I can do this. Not to detach from the style, but I need to put a stroke. Oh, the stroke. No. All right. One. Let's see it without the grid. All right. So with one, I think it looks pretty cool. If it's gonna be a thicker stroke, it doesn't look good. All right. So for now, what we have here, we have the hero section. This is the first thing that someone is going to see when he's going to go on the website, right? We have buttons, we have the header, we have a subheader. We're trying to keep the consistency, so we kind of, as you look at the color palette, kind of the same color palette, right? We're having the consistency there. This button, I don't think that this button is, yeah, I'm gonna rename it because I copied, right? So Control R, and I'm gonna say sell. We have one button sell, one button buy. Perfect. All right. Oh, let's see what's next. Next, I'm gonna turn on this grid because for me it's very helpful. We have here some logos. So the next in our list is going to be this logo stripe here. I'm gonna drag it here. All right. Ooh, this gray doesn't really fit to everything around. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna take the logos from here, shift and click all of them, and I'm just gonna drag them down. Let's do something with this stripe here. This stripe, I'm just gonna enlarge it like that. I need to put the logos on it, right? So I'm gonna choose a color that I might find here in my website. Let's see, maybe this one. But I don't want to have it so strong, so I'm gonna just take the grid a little bit out. Oh, it's a little bit too strong. I can choose another color, maybe this one. And just to make it cool, I'm gonna give a little bit of a transparency. Let's see, maybe 80. Ah, even less, 60, not 6. All right. So I like it. It's in my color palette. It looks good. Oh, my logos are pretty small. So I'm gonna select all of them. I'm pressing K on the keyboard. This is scaling, rescaling, and I'm just gonna drag it. I think they look pretty cool like that. Yeah, totally. Now, I need to tidy it up a little bit, and I have them selected. I'm going up there, and I'm gonna say tidy it up to have them exactly on the center. And if I'm selecting this one, after I'm selecting everything, I'm gonna do, I'm sorry. Center, it's already centered. All right. So now with the logos up here, now it's centered. I would like to do something. If you look at feel and look, there are two lights there. So let's make it a bit more dynamic. How do I do that? I'm gonna select my shape. I'm gonna select ellipse. All right. I'm gonna work on it here, and I'm gonna give it something from here. I'm gonna give it this purple, right? And in order to make it so shiny, I'm going to choose an effect, layer blurred, and I'm just going to blur it. I'm going to blur it, let's say, I don't know, 150. Oops. 150, it's a little bit, maybe 100, maybe 80. Now, as you see, this ellipse is coming out from my frame. It means that it's out of my desktop, it's out of my frame. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to the layer panel. I'm just dragging and drop it under my desktop. Now, you're not going to see it out. That means is in my desktop. All right. Well, it's a really nice, shiny one. Yeah. We can make it a little bit stronger and just blur it a little bit more. Those are like kind of catchy elements that you want to have on the website, you know, it drags the attention. So that's a really good thing. And let's do another one. I'm just going to Alt, drag and drop, and I'm going to give it another color. Actually, I have here the color. There you go. I'm going to go here. It's not coming out. If I'm clicking the ellipse, I know it's under my desktop, and I'm going to select both of them with Shift, and I'm going to group them and rename them ellipse. Right? I'm grouping everything. I'm grouping and renaming. Maybe this one, we can even give it, I don't know, 80, not to be so strong. There you go. So it looks pretty cool so far. We have everything. We have the hero section pretty much done. We did the logo. Maybe I'm going to give it a 50 to make it, or 40 to make it more transparent. Super. Okay, let's keep going. What's next? I have a picture there, and I have benefits. It says I have all the text there. So let's do it. The first one, I need a picture. Benefits. The first one is this, analytics. I'm gonna drag and drop it here. I need my grid. I need my grid because I don't know where to drop it, right? There you go. So it says that it also occupies half of it. So I'm just going to enlarge it a little bit more. Let's see how it fits with the text. Cool. So I would like to do something. Maybe I'm going to create a style for this one. Or not. We can. Okay. So next one is going to be featured on analytics, pure pricing. We have also a button here. I'm just going to drag and drop it here and change it in white so we can see it. All right. Let's see. Analytics, featured on. I think featured on. Now, featured on, I'm going to just hide it up here and I'm going to put it on top because this is featured on. Yeah. And I'm going to, exactly, and I'm going to make it, I'm going to let it as roboto, or I'm going to give it a bold. And I want for that to have capital letters. So I'm going to change it from here in capital letters. And to give it another color, maybe we have here this. Looks pretty cool. Nice. And I want to create a style for this one because it looks good. And I'm going to say, oh, maybe I can let it like that. I have a style for this one though. Analytics. Now, analytics. Feature on is a little bit too small, 22. Oi, it happens. All right. So now this one is going to be 22. I'm going to give it the same color and bold. All right. Now what I have here is going to be header 2 because we have one up there and now we have another one here. This one, I wanted to have it the font was source sans scroll. Right. So I have source sans pro. Oops, we're running out of time. So I'm gonna go in bold and I'm gonna make it 40, 100%. I'm gonna go a little bit faster because I want to show you everything. All right, so maybe I can go even higher, 60, and I'm gonna drag it like that. But I want for the style to have all of them capital letters. There you go. There you go. I like that. Like this. And I also have, maybe here, yes. And I also have a subtext, which is this one. This one we already know. It's going to be, I'm going to select the style. I'm going here and I'm going to say a subheading. Actually, not that one. No, body text. This is it, body text. And this one, I'm going to create a style for it and I'm going to say H2. Oh, it's already here, H2. All right. And I have my body text and I also have a button. Now, because I have a button and they're already created here, I'm going to just duplicate it. I'm just going to drag it here. Super. And I want to change this here. Now, as you see, it's not keeping the style. This is a very cool trick. It changed everything. So in order for me to have consistency, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say like this. First of all, I'm going to copy this one and I'm going to paste here, right click, and I'm saying paste and match style. That means it's keeping the same style as I set it up before. Now, my text is going out of the button. That's why before doing this, I'm going to select the button and the text. And I'm going to go to auto layout, add. And I already have the layout. Everything here has to be in the center. It's aligned to center, right? Now, if I want to write anything, as you see, the padding is changing according to my text. So this is really cool. Now, perfect. I'm going to take this one, Command C. I'm going here. And I'm going to say paste and match the style. And there you have the button according to the style. All right. Now, having this one, I'm going to make it a little bigger. This is the first one that we have. Super. Now, what I'm going to do, this one a little bit higher to look better. There you go. Those are, we can do this actually when we are done with everything. Now, because we have this one, I'm going to just select everything. I'm going to group it and rename it. And I'm going to say analytics. And now it's going to go faster because what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to drag it here. According to my wireframe, it's going to be the opposite, right? So the opposite, I'm going to take the picture from here. I'm going to move this one here. I'm going to drag my picture. For the second one, is going to be this one. once you start creating the cards, once you start creating the cards, it's going to be very easy to just duplicate them and play with them, right? Or this is the second one. Well, here it says, this is the text, first one. Select everything, right click, paste, matching style. And then we have this one, Command C, everything goes faster. Once everything is in place, I'm going to select my subtext, right click, paste, match style. I'm going to do the same with the button. The button says download on iOS, Command C. And I'm going to, the button, paste, match style, there you go. And like that, it was very easy to create the second part. Analytics, they're not analytics. It says get our app, Command C, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna say paste match the style. Which something is happening. All right, well, things are happening. All right, let's keep going because I want to finish till the end. All right, now we have this one, we have the second one. It looks good. They're aligned. Let's see how it looks without the grid. Maybe we can just play a little bit. Just drag it a little bit like that. Again, in the end, this is bothering me because the app. All right. So far, so good. It looks pretty cool, I believe. We're not having a lot of space, so I'm gonna select my frame and have a control pressed, and I'm just gonna make my frame a little bit longer. All right, let's see what's happening here. So we have this one, testimonials, and now it's tricky because we want to have them aligned on the center. Until now I had columns. And again, the grid is amazing. Testimonials, I'm having this. And then under, we have a text. So I'm gonna paste it here, Command V. I wanna make it white so I can see it. And because we have styles in place, I want for the testimonials to have subheading. No, I need something bigger. This. H2, header 2. Now I want for this one to be on the center. So I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna center it really nice. It looks good. And then I have a small text under. This one I want it a little bit bigger. Not body text, but subheading maybe. Body text. Body text is the other ones because the other ones have body text too. So why not? But this one, I also want it on the center and much more. I want it up here under. But as you see, I also want the text in the center. So I'm going to select this one and I'm going to go here in the text and I'm going to put it on the center. All right. It looks good like this. I think I want it big. It's not big enough. It doesn't strike, right? So I think I'm going to do like this. I'm going to do H2 on this one. And testimonials, I'm going to write it small. Yeah. I'm going to take the style away. And on testimonials, I'm going to write it like this. I'm going to give it this. Let's see, this one has 22 and put it on 22. I think this is how it should be. It looks good. Centered, bum, centered, bum. I'm going to go up. There you go. And you've got it. Now, there's another cool stuff to do. So what I want to do is to create some cards. We're going to create only one and the rest we're going to duplicate. So I have three to put, three pictures. 3 times 4 is 12. So I know that one of the cards is going to take 4 columns. It's all about math. All right, so I have one here, right? And I want for this one to have really, I don't know, very cool color. I think I'm gonna take the color of this. Yeah, I'm gonna give it some maybe round corners. I'm gonna say 10. Yeah, but I also want to put the picture, right? Because we have a picture there, so I'm gonna create a circle. I'll share something cool now. All right, so I have the circle, yeah? Because I have the circle, I have the picture. I'm just gonna drag the picture over the circle. This is a very cool trick. It's just gonna drag it like that. See that? The circle is under. So I have the circle and the ellipse here in the panel, in the layer panel, right click. And I'm gonna say, where is it? Use as mask. Once I said that, the picture went in the panel, which is in the picture, right? The picture went in the ellipse. Now it's very cool because you have two different stuff. You have the picture and you have the mask. So if I'm clicking on the picture here and I'm going a little bit lower, I can center it very nice, right? And also I'm gonna have a text for it. His name is, I don't know, George. I'm gonna put the name here and I'm gonna make it white. Oh, I have to be in a hurry because we're running out of time. All right, so, and I'm gonna say, I don't know, body text, maybe John, no, John is too strong. Subheader, sounds good. And I want, this one is gonna be capital A. And I want for this to be maybe a little bit, I think it looks good. I'm gonna put it on the middle. Okay, and I can bring some text because I also have some text here. What he said. I'm going to share something cool. When I'm doing the text, I'm going to give it a style. The style is for body. I'm going to center it first. There you go. And the style is going to be body text on white. Now, I'm going to show something very cool. And not white. Is it too strong? No, it's okay. Now, this picture, as you see, if you look like in a big picture, it doesn't really fit to our color scheme. So that's why we can do some tricks. If you select this picture and you go, actually, yeah, if you select this picture, double click, and I'm going here in the picture, I can see here in the layers, there's a lot of things that we can do with the picture. Now it's set on pass-through, but we have a lot of settings that can, help us adjust the picture really fast. And this time I'm gonna go to luminosity. I think this picture fits really nice to my website. Let's see. I'm gonna select this one. Wait. Hey. All right. I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna group it, actually. Super. I'm gonna group it and rename it George. And now that I have the card, I can duplicate. I can duplicate George one time, and I can duplicate him another time because we have another testimonial. So I'm taking this picture again, and I'm just gonna drop it here. It's the same thing that we did before, right? And now I'm selecting this picture. I'm going to just bring it here and I'm going to select, let's see, where's the mask, this and this. So I'm going to take this picture out and I'm going to let the other one in. If I'm selecting the picture, I can just go a little bit lower. And again, I'm going to apply the same setting luminosity. It looks pretty cool, right? Of course, the name is not, we can change the name and everything. And we're going to do the same with the third one. I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to drag him here, make it bigger. There you go. And I'm looking, okay, so it's this one. I'm going to drag it here, make the other one invisible. And I have the picture. Maybe I want to apply the same effect just to keep the consistency. There you go. So for now, we have testimonials. I'm gonna just take the cards and I put them up a little bit. It looks good. And I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna group it and rename it testimonials. Cool. It looks good without grid. Hey. Looks good. Now, what is next? Oh, what happened with the grid? Tools. Stretch. Center. Things are happening here. There you go. And I want it white. Oh, now I have two? I don't see two, I see only one. Huh. All right. So, so far so good. We have testimonials, all right. And what we have here is a call to action. So there is we're gonna create a section here very fast. Let's make like a rectangle. Has to be something that the user is gonna click on. It has to be something big, something that sticks out. And let's use the gradient because I believe, yeah, we didn't use the gradient so far. So I'm gonna set this one, maybe give it some round corners, right? And let's see, I'm gonna go to fill, gradient, and we're gonna choose maybe like this, gradient. The first one, I want to give it like a, I wanna choose from here maybe. Yeah, and the second one, I'm gonna choose this one. I think it looks pretty cool, maybe a little bit darker. Yeah, it sticks out, right? It has to stick out. I'm gonna go on this, like that. Yeah, like it. All right. Oh, this is for you to twitch and to play with later on and see what is the feel, what is the vibe of it. All right. So we have the section now. I'm not happy with this. Sorry, I'm not happy. I can move on. All right. Now I'm happy. All right, we have the section now. Let's see what do we have in the section. Be part of the next big thing. Maybe we can take this. Are you ready? Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna drag it here. Super. I'm gonna let it black this time. I'm gonna make it all capitals, and I'm gonna bold it. Again, I'm gonna do the width like that, and I'm gonna bold it. Bold, bold, bold. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger, maybe 36. No, not 36, 24, and I'm gonna center it, right? It's in the center. Super. Are you ready? Let's see for what. Yeah, I like the way it looks. Be part of the next thing, get started. So we have a button, get started. Get started here. There you go. Be part of the next big thing. I'm gonna make it, I wanna give it a style. I wanna give it a style and I'm gonna make it H1. It's too big. Yeah. I'm gonna give it maybe H2. Yeah, and I wanna make it white. I want it to stick out. Super. And I'm gonna make it on the center. This one is on the center. I'm going up. Super. Are you ready? It's going to be here. And now we need to do a really nice button for it. And because we worked, yeah, get started. I want to have a button. I'm going to take one from here, drag and drop. I'm going to put it on top. It's my button. I'm gonna bring it and I'm gonna play in layers so I can bring it on top. It doesn't let me. All right. Well, as you see, this purple, it doesn't really fit now, and it's something that I want to stick out. I want for it to stick out, so I'm gonna get started. But I want to change the color of the button, right? The color of the button, I want to make it, I want to put it on the center, and I want to change the color into black. Oh yeah, that looks cool. Something that sticks out, right? Let's see how it looks without the grid. This is, there you go. I'm gonna take away the grid. Grid should be off already. This is a glitch, seriously, because I don't see a grid here. Anyway. Now this puzzles me because there's no grid set up. All right. I can see it. Maybe. Give it the time, give it the time. All right. Hey, but this is a different, it has we have to choose a different device for prototyping from here. Prototype, and then prototype settings. We have this one. Mm. Not bad, except the fact that it's not fitting to the prototype there to the right. It should have been set up from the beginning. Let's keep going. We're almost done anyway. What we have here, so we did be a part for the next thing. It goes here. It looks cool. It looks cool like that black. And in the end, we might want to have a footer here, in which we just. I mean, I'm rushing too much, and it's not cool at all. All right, so we have the footer. I'm gonna align it, and I want to make it in white. Lovely white, so we can see it. So good. And the first one's maybe to give a semi-bold. That looks good. And also here, I have to align it again to work on the grid, right? Here is good. And then this one, I'm thinking to put it here. Let's keep one in between, see? The grid tells you where to set up. And then we have this one here, super. An email address and submit. I want to have a field here. I can create really fast a field like that. Right here. Super, make it round, 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 as round as I can. Go under with it, but I have the text here. We cannot see it really good. This one, it can be a button. I'm gonna duplicate the field. I mean her because I know I'm keeping you guys. Uh, there you go. And I'm gonna make this one also purple to stick out because this is what I want for it to submit. And this one, to keep the consistency, I'm going back in my design. I'm gonna say, oh, I want this color. There you go. Submit here. Make it fit. Right, and bold. or medium. And I don't think we need this email address so big and so strong and text. So I can just decrease the font too. Well, that's about it. Oh, and now it's a trendy, it's a new stuff, pretty trendy, where you just show the ending of the website. You just, let's say, copy this one. I'm gonna put it here. First of all, we need this a little bit smaller. I'm gonna do it really fast because it's too long. Ah, I know what it is. There are two frames, and that's why I think one has, I don't know how this happened because it says frame two. One has grid and the other one doesn't. Interesting. All right, so I'm taking this one and I'm gonna just throw it here. There you go. From one end to another. There you go. And that's about it, I think. Oh, now I can. All right, so this is how it looks like. Um, well, towards the end now, I'm sorry, maybe I was too fast in what was I doing, but it's the main idea of creating the site. First of all, we're trying to keep the consistency. As you see, the subheaders, keeping the same font, creating styles for that. This is the easiest way to just, once you have style, once you have grouped, once you have renamed, then you can just copy and paste, duplicate, and everything happens, easier. It's faster. So I believe that this is it for now. I'm so sorry for the end because I was really rushed. Maybe there were so many other things that I wanted to tell you. But I'm happy that I get to show you how to use the grid because this is really important. Sometimes you get rid of it, sometimes you don't. Remember, this is not your design, it's not a part of the design, but it's such a good guidance. As you see, I didn't put the rulers at all. We don't need the rulers because we have the grid. For the desktop, usually we're using a 12 column. For mobile, it's used in 4 columns. But that depends a lot on what exactly do you want to show on the grid. I chose 12 because I told you it's very easy to divide. And as you see, I had 2 columns. I had also 3 columns. So what is the best to work on than 12, right? I think it looks pretty cool. If you tell me what I would change on it, maybe I would tweak a little bit these colors because I don't feel that they're really fitting on it. Remember that even the pictures, you can play with them and you can adapt them to your color palette. Remember about the pictures are speaking tons. They're telling the story of the website as long with the text, right? So try to find pictures that tell the story of your website, but also they're keeping the consistency, visual consistency of everything that happens on the website. That is for now. I'm so sorry for going very fast. I'm very excited to talk to you guys. And I don't know if you have any questions, if you have any time, Manish, I'm open. I want to remind you that you're gonna find the recording on Open Bootcamp YouTube channel. So if you want, maybe I went too fast. If you want to pause and if you want to put some notes down, you can go there a couple of days and you can find the recording and look over again.
Yep, that's right. We will also post the recording links on LinkedIn, so you can also grab it from there. And I will also share the Figma file which Joe has worked on so that you can try it out yourself as well by replicating what Joe did in the session. But yeah, thank
I
you,
have to put
everyone.
it back together now because it's pretty, I took everything away, but yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. If you have questions, feel free to reach out either to me or to Joe directly or our support team. And happy to have you here. Looking forward for another session soon. People, everyone. Bye-bye.
Only, bye-bye.